Apollo and Hakuho, record-holding duo in the LCS that have dominated the bot lane for years. This is their story. Shared XP, presented by Geico.
Well, initially, we met in LCS when we were on different teams, so we didn't really talk that much though, but we knew each other. So when I was on Envy and he was on Apex, I think it was at the time, whenever they remounted from Dig or whatever, eventually our team swapped ADs, so he came to our team and Laud went to their team. And that was 3 years ago, I think. I think it was 2017.
First time I met Hakuho was on Envy. He was on teams previously, which was Renegades. So, at least I knew of him. He was a good player. Played on Renegades, and I've seen him in solo queue a lot of the times. But first time we actually met was they were boot camping in Korea.
I mean, I thought he was a good player. From before he, before we started playing together. I thought he was pretty good. He's playing for a while, and he always seemed to know what to do. As a person, he was always pretty nice. And when I first met and that entire first split, he got along with everybody pretty well, even though he was new to the team.
Say my first impression of Hakuho was he's pretty quiet and reserved, but I mean, I guess most people are kind of shy when you meet them anyways, right? It's you kind of you end up opening up later on, right? But yeah, he was pretty reserved.
When it comes to outside of game stuff, I think we're pretty similar in terms of what we like food and game wise. And then in game, he's more generally talkative. Just as a person, he's more outgoing. So it kind of helps me. I can focus more on certain aspects of the game, my own gameplay and setting up plays, whereas he can try and talk about more general stuff as he play.
We spend so much time together, especially as a team. It's stuck in a hotel room for 2 weeks or even more. You end up talking with each other a lot more, and yeah, it didn't take long to open up with each other and figure things out, work together. The reason why we've been playing so long with each other is just because we've performed really well. Even though maybe the teams haven't been doing so well themselves, I felt like we still performed really well, and that's kind of why we kept playing with each other. And I think we also just got along, I think that's a huge part of it. We knew how to work with each other, and just getting along and knowing I guess how to improve and how to keep going, how to make how to keep up with other duo lanes, right? I think that's the most important thing. I'd say favorite memory. I mean, it's not necessarily. I mean, okay, we always did stuff as a team, to be fair, but our probably favorite memory is just when we're on Envy. We didn't really have a coach.
That was a scenario where it's we have to actually motivate ourselves to do well and improve, and I think that was a good time for us to become more than just players. Sometimes people are really immature about it, but I think when we were on Envy and our 5-man were just working with ourselves to try and get better, I think that was a really good experience for all of us.
And so we always would just play board games, we'd play Settlers of Catan, Uno isn't a board game, but whatever. And yeah, I think that was probably, at least I would say that's the most fondest, just because of how strange the situation was, but it was still really enjoyable, even though we weren't the best team, but we didn't have a coach, but we still kind of I don't know, I guess we still got through it, and it was pretty fun. Just over the years, we just became friends. I don't know of a specific moment, but I'm sure it wasn't too far in, right? After the Korea trip, I would consider us friends. But yeah, we have good memories with each other, especially achievements where on Clutch, we took down TSM and that whole thing, and all those moments I think were really big parts of our, I guess, growth.
In the game, it was when we beat TSM in playoffs the first time. That was a really good series from us two specifically, and then that was when we showed that we were really good players. I think that was back when TSM was pretty good. Worlds is unlucky this year, but classic NA.
I would probably describe Nick as reserved because, well, just kind of ever since I met him, he's been relatively reserved. But like I said before, he opens up. And I think he's a super funny guy, especially once you get to know him. He just has a great sense of humor. And he's always been very competitive and, focused even. So, yeah, I mean, and I think that drive is, the reason why he is here still. It's because he's just so competitive, and I really appreciate that part of him, at least.
So he's nice, which is very generic, and everybody will say that. He is extremely handsome, which is what also everybody would say. And then the third thing, it's not in a rude way, but I'd say gluttonous. I don't mean it in a bad way, but he does like his food. I can't think of like a nicer word to describe it. Yeah. Oh yeah, he's a gourmet there. That's it. I think most people know Apollo's personality for the most part since he's been around the league for so long. What they see in the media is actually who he is, so it's not that much different.
I think he's really good at kind of separating I guess losses and work from real life. I don't know if that makes sense, but he makes sure to have a good attitude, a positive attitude no matter what, meaning just because we lost or just because the season's going bad, it doesn't necessarily affect, I guess, what's going on outside. And he's still a person, he still treats everyone the same way, despite what's going on. And I think it's a difficult thing to do, and I think it's a good thing to have, right, as a person. I'm nice.
He's just the nicest.
I'm baseline nicest, and then I eat food. That's really all I got going.
Yeah, despite how much I see Apollo eat, he never gains any weight, so he got that going.